Hey guys, welcome back to the vlog. As you can see, we are at Party City. It's my sister-in-law's surprise 30th birthday tonight. So I have the most important job of picking up a bowl and balloons. So let's go get this mission accomplished. There's so many to choose from, I don't know which one to get. We're gonna go with this one. Can't go wrong, huh? Mission accomplished. Now I just have to make sure they don't blow away before we get to the party. I'll have to tie them down or something in my car. Okay guys, we're back at Parks. Getting a little later start today than normal, and the list is pretty long on the Bravo app. But I called ahead and hopefully they open a second game. I actually put myself on the 5-5 today too, just in case it runs, and I want to get a seat earlier than later. I hate waiting around for a seat, so we'll see. We'll play whatever runs and hopefully book another win. I have Ace, King, Queen, 3 double suited, and I min raise under the gun to $5. I like to do this sometimes with most of my hands. It kind of slows down the crazy 3 betting and stuff like that. This is essentially a limp. Middle position decides to min raise to $10. And I don't see this as being a very strong hand. This is a pot builder by a loose guy who is kind of just trying to take initiative in the hand. So 3 people call, and I think I have the initial raisers range crushed. I think I can dominate a lot of the hands that flatted, and I'm out of position. So I decide to 3-bet to $65 here. The 2 players call, the initial raiser and guy in the small blind calls. Flop is Queen 7-8 with rainbow with giving me 2 backdoor flush draws. So pretty good flop for me. The small blind, or the person in the blinds, shoves for $85 into the pot, which is you know, about half pot, 3/4, yeah, about half pot. So I don't read too much into this hand strength. He's doing this with a lot of 1-pair hands, a lot of straight draws, a lot of nonsense. And given there's only 1 player behind me, I think I want to isolate against some straight draws here. I have all the clean 2-pair outs, and given that I think the player's range is very wide, I actually decide to repot to try and isolate this blind player's shove. So he folds and we go heads up, and the guy wants to run it twice. He has Jack, 7, 8, 10. So he has 2-pair and a gut shot versus my top pair and side cards. So the first run out is 4, 10, so I brick off there, and the second run out is 2 and a jack, so I brick off there as well. He scoops both. Okay, this third hand, there's a straddle on, and there's one limp in front of me, and I'm in the cutoff. And I have Queen, Queen, 4, 6 double suited, and I decide to raise it to 15. There's actually 4 callers, including the limper and the straddler. So we're gonna see a pot in position here. Flop is Queen, Jack, 6. So I flop top set here, and it checks to the straddle, who leads for $40. This is a pretty good scenario for me. After losing that last hand, I only have about $250 behind this. So I actually decide to raise it to $100, essentially committing myself. Trying to get heads up with this player if he wants to get it in. He's signaling he has a strong hand or a strong draw. And you know, when he bets into 4 players, I don't think this is a bluff or a hand he's going to be folding. So he flats the $60 extra, and everybody else folds. The turn is the 7 of hearts, and he jams into me. I snap call, and he asks how many times I want to run it. I said it's up to him, and he said just run it 1 time. He has Jack, Jack for middle set, and no draws or anything like that. So the river is at 2 of hearts, and I double up. Okay guys, we're going to do a little something different for this 4th hand of the day. So let me know if you guys like it or you guys like the original format. But first, as you can see, I am wearing the new JAKT PLO tank tops, which you can get at the link below. Check them out. There's also hoodies and different designs and t-shirts available. So check them out. I think you'll like what you see here. And you know, if there's any special requests for colors, different color shirts, I think I can accommodate that. But for this last hand, I'm going to have you guys play along a little bit and see if you guys make the same decisions I do. So in this first hand, I have King 10 9 7 with King 10 of spades, and I'm in middle position. It's limp to me, and I decide to limp it. I think in a full ring game, this is not a hand you want to raise because you're not going to get many folds. I think you want to play this hand, to dominate other draws. But so it's limped around, and the small blind decides to bump it up to $15. There's a call, and it comes back to me, and it's up to you now to decide what you want to do. You can fold and be a little nit bitch, or you can call, or you can raise. And I'll let you guys pause the video here and let me know what you think. Okay, well, I decided to call here. I think if I raise, I'm not going to get any folds, especially from this player. I think the value comes in dominating some weaker hands here, so I don't want to shut those other hands out of the pot. I also think the player in the small blind is fairly weak. Weak player, not weak-handed. And I think I want to play a pot in position with him. So to my surprise, the cutoff calls, and a couple other players call, and it's 5 ways to a flop. So the flop is pretty good, I would say. It's above average flop for our hand. It is 5 of spades, 6 of diamonds, 8 of spades. So we flop the nut straight with a redraw to a higher straight and the king high flush draw. And the blind decides to lead for 70 here, almost pot. So it comes around to me. I am about 500 effective with the rest of the table. The small blind has about 250 to start the hand. So I'll pause it here, guys, and let me know what you guys would do here. Okay, so what I did here is pretty interesting. I decided to flat call. There's not too many scary turn cards for me, other than the board pairing, and if the board pairs, I can get away from pretty cheap. Flat calling also allows dominated hands to come in behind me. If I re-raise, all the hands behind me will fold that are not straights or fairly strong sets already. You know, you can get some weaker straight draws or something like that to join and play a big pot, really big pot, with someone else besides the short stack. Luckily, the cutoff pots it to 270. He's got me well covered, so I'm pretty happy with this scenario. Folds around to the initial bettor, who thinks about it and calls, and it's back on me. And we have about 300 behind with this player after he pots it here. So let me know what you guys would do. Would you flat call or would you raise and just get it in here? So I decided to raise and get it in here. He's pretty much saying he has a straight here, and I don't want a scary card to come off. He's not going to raise this with a set with two players in front of him to act. So he's saying he has a straight or a very good straight draw with maybe spades as well, and I don't want a scary card to come off and kill the action. Given that the first player's hand is already in, I want to get as much money on the side pot with this guy who has pretty much narrowed his range down by re-raising on the flop here, especially 5 ways. So I raise, get it all in, and he calls me, and he has the bottom end of the straight draw, so he has 7-4, and he has a 7 high flush draw. He does have the straight flush draw, but as we come to find out, the blind player has the 6 of spades, so we have this hand pretty much locked up against the cutoff player, and we are dodging 3 pairs from the blinds. Luckily, we do dodge everything, and we win the biggest pot of the vlog so far. Almost triple our, or quadruple our stack. Okay, today's JAKT tip is going to be about position, and more importantly, relative position to the rest of the table. In No Limit Hold'em, it's obviously much easier to play in position than it is out of position, but it is magnified in Pot Limit Omaha. It is more difficult to get value and more difficult to bluff out of position given all the hand combos. You're pretty much in position, it's much easier to hand read. In position, it is much easier to value bet or bluff against out of position players. And I'm going to go over an example right here. So say player A is out of position and player B is in position. And player A flops the straight and player B flops a set. Flush draw on board, neither player has a flush draw. Player A pots, player B calls. Turn bricks off, player A pots, player B calls. River flush comes in. Player A has no choice but to check. Now, player B can bluff the flush, or if he thinks he's good, showdown value and showdown his set. But given the action, player A never has a strong flush in these low limit games. In the better games, you know, you go trap with nut flushes and king high flushes here as well. But given the action, player A almost never has a nutted hand, a nut flush here. So player B can bet for value or bluff depending on what he thinks player A has. And that, guys, is your JAKT tip of the vlog. If you guys have suggestions for future JAKT tips, please leave them in the comments below. Trying to think of some more ideas for you guys, but if there's something specific you would like to see, please let me know and I will try and get that out in future vlogs. Okay guys, thanks for watching. This is the vlog. Don't forget, get your JAKT PLO shirts, tank tops, hoodies. Also, don't forget to hop onto usteak.com. I'll put this link below. You can buy as little as 1%, selling up to 50%, and it's available to buy up until the day before the event. So I appreciate it, you guys.